Hi you guys, and good morning. It is currently snowing outside. Now, although the snow looks really cute, I'm gonna need this to wrap up. One thing about me, y'all, I cannot stand being cold, but it looks so cute. Anyways, if you're new here, I'm Demi, and I am doing a 40-day holy reset challenge to get back to the core of holiness. We are on what day are we on, y'all? We are on day 37 and 38 of the 40-day holy reset challenge. Y'all, let's just get into this video, okay? Now listen, I've been kind of like wanting to share this with y'all, but I be like, if I say this, they're gonna think I'm crazy, right? But after talking to like my father-in-law and also other people who are just fully submitted to Christ, I have found out that what I experience is actually a normal thing. Okay, like I'm not crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and share with y'all one thing about your girl that's it's a little different. So if you experience anything like this, or if you have this particular gift, comment down below. Let's get into this look. Is this a story time? We got a spiritual story time, y'all. So anyways, like either last week or a week and a half ago, I was doing some praying, some worshiping, and I was casting out demons, right? And that night I went to sleep. I had this, like, my father-in-law, he calls it like an outer body vision. So I'm sleeping, but even though I'm sleeping, I am in the spiritual realm, right? So I wake up, but I'm not really woke, and on the side of my bed, y'all, is a demonic spirit, but then there's also an angel as well. Now, this is not my first time being able to see spirits or to feel spirits. I have been able to experience some things, y'all, spiritually. But during this time, I see a demonic spirit and I see an angel, right? And naturally, when I woke up knowing that there was like a demonic spirit next to my bed, I was like, okay, yeah. So I was telling my husband, right? And I didn't even get to tell him how like I was low-key scared a little bit. But the first thing that come out of his mouth, y'all, is
don't be scared.
Because I'm about to go to work. You're gonna be home in a dark house, but you have nothing to be scared of. You know whose you are. You know that you're protected. You know that you are covered in the blood of Jesus. Listen, that's why it's so important that you have a God-fearing man. Anytime that I am going through anything that's like spiritually crazy, because my mind has literally been attacked before, which that's a completely different story for a different day, but that got real crazy. My man is always there to just give me the encouragement that I need. And he also like does so well with interpreting my dreams, because I'm a dreamer, y'all. I told you this before, that the Lord speaks to me through my dreams, and he just paired me so well with my husband. He like just helps me out so much, y'all. So he's automatically like, hey, you ain't got nothing to be scared of, right? So boom, that happens. I was a little shook, but I'm like, you know what, he's absolutely right. I prayed and went on about my days, right? Mind you, like I said, this is like a week and a half ago, and I told y'all how things happen in the spiritual realm before it happens in the physical. This is a real deal, okay? So life goes on. All of a sudden, both of my husband and I are tested, right? So on my test, backstory. If you're new here, I have fertility issues, and a baby used to be like so much for me, very like almost an idol, right? So the enemy also knows my weaknesses, or what was my weakness, right? So I have this dream, y'all, and in the dream, I am getting a what is it called? What is it called? Oh my goodness. I'm getting a, what is it called when you get your uterus taken out? Hysterectomy, y'all. So in the dream, I'm getting a hysterectomy out of nowhere. Okay, eyes open, I'm being rushed to the hospital to get a hysterectomy. And in the dream, I say, dang, that means I'm not gonna be able to have any kids. And I was so sad, I was so hurt, right? My family is also in this dream, y'all, but they are being so distant. Like, they're not talking to me. I'm asking them, like, what happened? How did I get here? What happened? And they're like blowing me off. So I felt so lonely. I felt so like, I don't know, like just the best way I can describe it is lonely. So also in the dream, like I just said, I just found out I'm not gonna be able to have any kids. I call up my man, who was not actually my man in real life. But I call up my man and I'm like, you know, I just found out I'm gonna have to have a hysterectomy. I'm not gonna be able to have kids. Are you gonna stay with me? And he's like, no. Y'all, I what? You're gonna leave me? And he was like, you know, like basically I ain't got time for that. Boom, hangs up on me, right? So I'm like, okay, everything has fallen apart, right? I can't have no kids. My family is not there for me. And my man just left me because I can't have no kids, right? In the midst of this, as I'm getting prepped to go to surgery, I say, okay, Lord, I am just going to live a fully submitted life to you. No kids, no family, no man. It's just me and you. So at that moment, I still chose to be fully submissive to the Lord. Even though I had all this going on in the spirit, I chose to still just be all about the Lord. I wake up, y'all. So I'm talking to my husband about it. He's helping me to be able to interpret what just happened to me in this dream. So like I said before, the enemy already knows that having a child used to be my weakness. And I felt that way before. Also in the dream, my mom kept on saying, I kept telling you not to wait so long to have kids, not to wait so long to have kids. And naturally when I woke up, my flesh wanted to be like, okay, we can't wait. We gotta try and see what's going on, which I've been there before. When in our reality, right here, right now, that's not what it is. If I am going to have kids, it has to be led by the Lord, y'all. I know so many of us, when we want something, we just do it. Like I can easily be like, okay, IVF, let's get it popping. Absolutely not. Like this just has to be something that's led to the Lord. And in that moment, like when I first woke up, my flesh naturally wanted to be like, okay, let's do this. But then my spirit is like, we've been there before. We know that this life that we live is orchestrated by God. We do nothing outside of God, especially something like a child, right? So boom. After that, you know, my husband is like, and you already know for a fact that I will never, ever, ever, ever leave you if we don't ever have kids. Y'all, one thing my husband has always expressed to me that he loves me way more than a baby. Sometimes he don't even know if he wanted a kid. So I already knew that that was a lie of the enemy. And then also when it comes to my family, like in the dream, just feeling super distant, my family is not like that, y'all. Like we are so close, it's sickening. Like we talk to each other every day, all day. Like if you look at my call log, my mom, my sisters, my dad, that's all the people I'm really talking to. So all of it was just a lie from the enemy. And he wanted me to be able to just be in my flesh. But no, baby, at the end of the day, the spirit always wins, because not only am I fully submitted to the Lord into the physical, as you can see, your girl is fully submitted to the Lord in the spiritual. So after that, I'm like, okay, enemy, you tried, you failed, cast you out, you're gone. But anyways, I know that was a lot, but I just had to let y'all know what was going on with your girl. Which brings me to the gratitude of today, y'all. Once again, I am just so grateful for God's love that the Lord has showed me plenty of times, like things that are gonna happen before they happen. And at first, it really used to scare me, y'all. Like, I tried to pray it away because it was like, it was just weird to be able to see things before they happen. But I've grown to love it. Like, I love that the Lord loves me so much and he wants to protect me so much that he allows me to see things before they actually happen. So I am just grateful for God's love, y'all. I'm just so grateful to be his child, his daughter. Like, this is such a blessing. But anyways, y'all, that's my gratitude of today. I'm just thankful to be God's daughter. So let's go ahead and get into the devotional of today. All right, y'all, so today's devotional is about perfect timing. Let's get into it. It says, when it comes to trust, remember, we are all talking about total reliance upon spiritual timing, not just partial trust in the areas where we feel the odds are in our favor. We must become intentional when it comes to no longer trusting the wrong things like yourself, your experience, your intellect. You may be good, but God is great. God's got a higher, wider, and more eternal view. This is a special time to trust God with your whole heart, especially the parts you've been holding back out of fear of fully letting go. This belief disrupts our destiny. We block miracles when we give God just a small piece versus all of us. It can seem scary, and that's okay. God isn't afraid of or turned off by your emotions or feelings. Instead, he wants you to bring those cares and worries to him. Even in the midst of frustration, know that every detour and delay has been divinely orchestrated. Remember, God knows the ideal timing for you to arrive at your destination. So the question of today is, tell me, where are you struggling with trusting God's timing? What lesson do you think God is trying to teach you about patience, spiritual intimacy, and preparation? Where do you get stuck? Okay, so to answer the first question, it says, where where are you struggling with trusting God's timing? Right here, right now, I'm not really struggling with trusting God's timing. I feel like I'm within his will right now and I'm doing exactly what he's called me to do and where I need to be. So I don't really feel like I'm struggling with trusting God's timing right here, right now. Now, would it be the same in a few months? Maybe even tomorrow? Probably not. But right now, that's how I feel. So the next question is, what lesson do you think God is trying to teach you about patience, spiritual intimacy, and preparation? Like we just said in the dream, I feel like God allowed the enemy to test me because y'all, the enemy can only do what God allows. But he allowed that test to see, is she going to go back to her fleshly ways? Is she going to get caught up in her feelings? Or is she going to continue to trust me with her whole life? Is she going to continue to trust me with my perfect timing? I feel like that whole thing was just a faith thing for me. I feel like God was just trying to teach me to be still and to be steadfast and continue to trust in me. And once he sees that he can trust me, he's like, okay, maybe I can trust you more. So I feel like God was just continuing to teach me to be patient and to trust in him. And the last question is, where do you get stuck? Baby, I used to get stuck on time because I'm like, all right, Lord, I'm getting older and everybody around me are having kids. So by the time I have a kid, their kids are gonna be 15. So time, y'all, time used to always get me stuck, but what timing is perfect than the Lord? So once I just really learned to like sit back and understand that the Lord's timing is perfect, hey, do what you do. So that's the devotional of today, y'all. I'm feeling so amazing. I had some coffee today, if y'all probably can't tell. Like whenever y'all see me just like I've had some coffee, but I don't know what we're gonna get into today, especially because it's snowing. So I don't know if we're gonna do an at-home workout or if we're just gonna like go out and be like, hey, forget it. Let's get into the cold, even though I hate cold. So I don't know what we're doing today, but I hope you are having a great day. And I love you. Let's continue today. So as I'm literally getting ready to do an at-home mat Pilates workout, my wrist gets to hurting like crazy. I don't know what I did to my wrist yesterday, y'all, but I'm literally in the shower wringing out my towel. Then all of a sudden, I just feel pain like all up in here. And it was literally hurting for the rest of the night. My husband did wrap my wrist up, but as I'm like continuing my day, I took the wrap off. And as I'm setting up to do the workout, y'all, my wrist just started hurting so bad. So we're not gonna be able to do a workout today. I'm just gonna rest. But I wanna show y'all one of my Black Friday buys that I bought because I've been needing some new headphones. Every time y'all see me in those black Beats, those are my husband. So I went ahead and got me some new Beats. I got some of the Beats Studio and they are the ones by Kim Kardashian. I didn't even care about the fact that they're from Kim Kardashian. She just got some of the cutest colors in the Beats, y'all. So here is the box that it came in. So it just came in this box that says Beats times Kim. So I got this sunlight. Oh Lord, I'm about to have to wrap it up. It literally hurts. Me trying to, my hand is so weak. Jesus, help me, heal me, Lord. It has like this little thing here. You just pull it down, let's get some ASMR. Oh, this box is cute. Okay, Kimmy. So this is what it looks like when you take the paper off and you pull this little white box off. This packaging is cute, y'all. One of my favorite colors is brown. Okay, I love the color brown, like a brown, a nude. Like that just gives classy, sexy. It's even Demi, okay? So this is the bag that the Beats come in, y'all. So cute. Look at that. Oh, these are so cute. I love the color. I love the color. Ah, look at these. Literally, look at this color. Like, tell me. These are not super cute. Like, hello? Look at these. Are these not just bomb? So I got these in the color Earth and I'm in love. I absolutely love them. I will link them down below in my description box. They're normally $3.59, but I got them on sale for $1.59 on Amazon. So I'll definitely link them down below. We're just gonna go ahead and get into dinner since we can't work out today since my wrists wanna just be weak. So let's go ahead and get into some dinner, y'all. Alright, y'all, so let's go ahead and get into today's Bible study. Today we are going over James 4 and 5, so let's get into it. I told y'all James is one of my favorite books of the Bible. It literally starts off about why there are so many fights and quarrels within believers and non-believers, and a lot of it is just due to jealousy. It's due to the evil desires that people have within their heart. A lot of people are so focused on selfish ambition, or they want more recognition, they want more possessions, and when they don't get this, they tend to covet, which also leads to them wanting to unalive someone or just cause pain on someone. So a lot of quarrels that happen within believers and non-believers are just simply due to coveting, y'all. But then it goes on to speak about in verse 3, when you ask, you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. A lot of people, when they go to God, they only go to God because they want things. They want more money, they want a bigger house. They're not going to God like, hey God, can I get some wisdom? Can I get some peace? Can I get some joy? Like, no, they're going to God for their own selfish reasons, which is why a lot of people don't receive what it is they're actually asking from God in prayer. And then it goes on to talk about how you cannot be a friend of the world and also be a friend of God. The two just don't line up. They just don't add up. When you are a friend of the world, you want like material things. Your life is so self-centered. Like, you feel like a lot of the things that happen in your life is because of you. Also, with being a friend of the world, you care about what other people think about you, when in our reality, you should only really be caring about what God thinks about you, because at the end of the day, these people don't determine your eternity, you know? So it just says here that you can't be a friend of God and also be a friend of the world. And then it goes on to say how we should submit ourselves to God, y'all. This is verse 7, where it says, submit yourself to God, resist the devil and he will flee from you. If you purposely pay attention to what it is that you're feeding yourself, what it is that you're watching, you can avoid certain temptations, because what we hear, y'all, is what we feed our spirit, and we can minimize the ways that the enemy comes at us by just being intentional about what we're feeding ourselves. But it also goes on to say, come near to God and he will come near to you. And then to basically end up chapter 4, it's talking about how we'll be like, so next year I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, as if we have any control on what's going to happen next year. Like, it's okay to plan, but don't think that you are in control of your life. It says that you don't even know what will happen tomorrow. So how can you even speak as if you are in control of your life? It says, instead of saying this is going to happen or I'm gonna do this tomorrow, you should say, if it's in the Lord's will, then that is what's going to happen. Just basically reminding you that you have absolutely no control over your life, and God is the one that's in control. It ends with saying in verse 16, as it is, you boast in your arrogant schemes. All such boasting is evil. If anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. So the way they reference this in my study Bible, in which I absolutely love, what it means by, if you know that you ought to do good and you don't, it is a sin. So basically saying, we know that it is a sin to lie, but it is also a sin to not tell the truth. So that pretty much wraps up chapter 4. Let's go ahead and get into chapter 5. All right, y'all, so what stood out to me in James 5 is how it talks about we should be patient in our suffering. we are going to suffer in this life. And it also talks about how we should be patient as we wait on the Lord. In verse 7, it says, see how the farmer waits for the land to yield its valuable crop, patiently waiting for autumn and spring rains. You too be patient and stand firm, because the Lord's coming is near. It also goes on to say, as we are waiting for the Lord, to not grumble against our brothers and sisters. And then after that, it goes on to verse 12, which really stood out to me, because y'all know how people, when they want somebody to believe them, they will be so quick to swear. Like, I cannot stand when I hear people say, I swear to. Like, that bothers me so much. Or when they be like, I put that on my mama. Verse 12 is just basically saying, do not swear. Do not swear by the heaven. Do not swear by the earth. All you need to say is a simple yes or no. And if people can't believe you with a simple yes or no, then hey, let it go. So then it goes on to verse 13, where it's talking about the power of faith, about the power of prayer. How if anyone is happy, let them sing. If anyone is in trouble, they need to pray. If anyone is sick, they need to call the elders of the church and they need to be prayed over. They need to be anointed with oil. It's just talking about how important it is that we have faith and that we have prayer. And the example that it used was verse 17, where it talks about how Elijah was a human being and how he prayed earnestly that the rain would not come. And because of his faith and because of the way that he prayed to the Lord, it didn't rain for 3.5 years. But when he prayed to the Lord for it to rain, it rained. So there is just so much power in your faith, and there is just so much power in prayer. And then to end chapter 5, it says in verse 19, for my brothers and sisters, if one of you should wander from the truth and someone should bring that person back, remember this. Whoever turns a sinner from the error of their ways will save them from death and cover over a multitude of sins. That pretty much wraps up today's Bible study. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like this video, comment something down below that really stood out to you, and then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified when your girl posts. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.